You really need to follow the rules, and there's a little bit of learning that goes into that, but it's worth your time. A lot of
Mhm.
people shy away from anything to do with code on their website or, like that technical side. But as business owners who need email to make money, it's really important to do some learning of the basics.
Joining me today is Cheryl Rarick, who is an email strategist, automation engineer, and deliverability expert who designs psychology driven email journeys that feel deeply personal and keep converting over time. And today is all about how to get more opens, clicks, and sales by mastering email deliverability with Cheryl Rarick. So stay tuned. Hey there, it's Michelle, and today Cheryl Reverick is joining me. Welcome to the show, Cheryl.
Hey, thanks for having me, Michelle.
I am so excited because we have met this past year and we really hit it off, and we just got into so many different conversations. So I am so excited that we finally got to chat today. This is going to be so good. Can you take us back a little bit, not to what you do now, but who you were before all of this, like all this online stuff? Let us
Yeah.
know, like fill us in, like what's happening in your world that set you on the path to where you are today.
Well, how far back are we going, Michelle?
Well, not
I
that.
feel like I've been a salesperson my whole life. Like I think I printed my first babysitting business cards using MS-DOS.
I
That
love
just aged
that.
myself. So I feel like I've always been a business person at heart. However, I actually started in the world of travel and wedding planning, like travel
Really?
agent, destination wedding plan groups, very highly detailed stuff. So I was really involved with like computers and stuff like that from the get go. Um, and then I think like how I got here though into on more online world is I had babies. And it's really hard to go back to work. Now I'm in Canada. We get a year of maternity leave. We're really blessed with that. I mean, not everybody does. If it's like unemployment insurance, so if you pay into it, you get to collect it.
Mhm.
And so I had the year off, and then it was really hard to go back after my first baby because what I was doing was very time sensitive, intense work. In the world of travel, you blink and price changes. So if you aren't available to your clients, it doesn't work. So I tried to go back part time, and that was so hard to be effective. And I was used to being like top sales in my province. Like I was used to being top of my game, and it was really hard to do that. It was a little bit frustrating. And then I had baby number two. Daycare is just crazy, waitlist, and expensive. And I didn't want to be away from the kids. So it was sort of kind of fell into the online world naturally. I already have the tech background. And I started working for one person for their business, and I was their online everything marketing. I built the website, I did all the email, I did all the customer stuff, all the back end, everything. And so I kind of got to teach myself like on the job and work from home, which was such a huge blessing. And then, I just self taught in the early days of what we see now is like this online course creator coach community. That was like in 2012.
Mhm.
So I've been here a while.
Yeah, that
And then I
happened.
started doing more like VA work, OBM work, a little bit of fractional CMO work for
Mhm.
various businesses. I started working for multiple clients. And then I realized like my time still isn't my own. It was great. I was making more money and still in control a little bit, but I really wanted a way easier lifestyle. So when you set out to build more of a lifestyle business where I can be very flexible with my time. So I moved more into teaching. So I changed my ideal buyer from the ones that wanted to pay me just to handle everything to the people who are fired up and want to learn how to do it for themselves. And so it was a little bit
Mhm.
of a switch, but that was around in 2019.
Mhm.
So yeah, kids were the
I
catalyst.
know. Well, and and I mean, I'm older than you are. So it's like back then to be able to spend time with our kids or stay, it was like you either had to be a teacher, right? Or like a pharmaceutical rep type of thing or real estate where you had some flexibility, right? But
Mhm.
then there's so much other stuff that comes with that versus, hey, I can just make my own time, do my own thing and still make a very good living. But we
Yeah,
didn't
like
have
nurse a baby and working on the computer at the same time. Like that's unheard
that.
of. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was I mean, and
Yeah.
even now, like, when you travel, it's like, well, my both my kids live out of state, so it's like I can go spend a week or two with them and still be working, or what, it's like I don't have to
Yeah,
check in somewhere. So it's I just think the opportunities are like limitless nowadays, and there's so many different niches that, when I sit at these events and I hear what people are doing, I'm like, I don't even know, like teaching you how to lasso was like a course, right? Or
right?
something like that. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, that totally could be a course, but I just never thought of it because I don't lasso. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like
totally.
literally everything can be something that people want. So what led you to more of focusing, or more of like the email and deliverability and like nurturing your clients?
Yeah, well, I think with email, I fell into it because it's such a big part of marketing. It's literally the biggest part, I think, of
Yeah.
how we can actually sell to people.
Hmm.
There's a lot of, a lot of things that we're doing, but the goal of most of them is to get people on your email list so then you can sell to them. And so it's one of the key pieces, as well as it feels like to me more of a one-on-one conversation in someone's inbox, which I really like.
Hmm.
I don't like feeling like I'm up on a stage blasting out to a crowd. It feels like social feels like that to me.
Yeah.
So I really like the intimacy of email, but also when I was younger, I wanted to be a writer. I like writing. So I have this creative brain. I like writing and design. So I have a creative side of brain, but I'm also a super nerd. So it's kind of a perfect little marriage
Mm-hmm.
that I can help people who don't understand the tech stuff because I'm not full nerd. Sometimes when you're full nerd, you have a really hard time teaching
Right.
people who are not because you can't see the other side. So I'm kind of like one foot in each. I can really help a lot of people learn things in an easier way. So I do teach more of the psychology based writing, marketing, messaging side of email, but then I pair that with the technical side because it's necessary and it's a big missing part for most people that they are just completely unaware of. And if you
Mhm.
don't get that right, you just don't get your emails read. You don't get in the inbox. So what's the point?
Exactly.
So it's super
Yeah.
important to have both.
Oh my gosh, so good. So I know that all your clients are super excited that they found you, because you like, you check all the boxes. Well, today is all about like how to get more opens, more clicks, more sales by really mastering emails, right?
Yeah.
And especially you hit on like getting in that inbox, people opening. And that's like the biggest thing now. I feel like with all these privacies, and I don't even feel like with the privacies, with everything that's going on, the Googles, the Yahoos, the Outlooks, it's like they're putting so many parameters, just like Apple with your phone. Like, do you want to be tracked, not tracked? It's like they're kind of deciding
Yeah.
what goes in your inbox or in spam or in your promo folders. And there's so many questions like, hey, I am doing the best practices, but I'm like, do you know the best practices? Or sometimes, so there's so many different layers to
Yeah.
this. So I'm excited to dive in. And I also know there's some updates coming, so I'm hoping that you're going to share those with us as well. So, what do you wish that that every coach understood about email deliverability before they send a single campaign?
Yeah, you really need to follow the rules and there's a little bit of learning that goes into that, but it's worth your time. A lot of
Mhm.
people shy away from anything to do with code on their website or, like that technical side. But as business owners who need email to make money, it's really important to do some learning of the
Mm.
basics. And since 2024, when Google, Yahoo, and Google all released, sorry, I said Google, Yahoo, Microsoft released their new deliverability rules and they changed what was now required. And what was always best practice is now non-negotiable to get in the inbox. We really just have to follow the rules. A lot of people you've heard say email is a marketing channel that you own versus social, you're renting space on someone else's property, email you own. It's true to a point. I mean, I hear people say that and I know what they're trying to say, but yeah, they give you your email address. They give you consent to email them, which is really important these days. You have their email address, but doesn't mean you can reach them. It's not really like it's their world. We're living in it, and we have to follow their rules, and they are allowed to change them. We've just been spoiled that they haven't been changing as fast as algorithms on socials that change all the time. But we do have to pay a little bit of attention. So I wish people knew to focus a little bit on that before diving into all the other things and so-called rules you need to follow. there's nothing more important than hitting those technical pieces first so you can get seen.
Yeah, I look it's like you're the steward of this, like, this valuable, like you're a steward of your money, and you watch that really well. It's like you have to do the same thing and protect, protect this list and their privacy and stuff in there, which I think it when I started to look at it more like that, like I am the steward of this list and my business, right?
Your
Because
business,
it's
yes.
like your domain is attached to that. And if you're not doing the things that you're talking about specifically, then it all goes down the hill. Because a lot of people are like, well, I'm just going to pick up my sticks and I'm going to move from ConvertKit to Active Campaign, or I'm going to, and
Yeah,
it's
they
so
say
far.
that a
You
lot.
can't go by the same rules. Like it doesn't just start from zero, right? So it's
Right.
like, what do you do to set up? Okay, cool. So what are the biggest reasons that emails land in spam, especially now?
Oh, good question. Okay, so first I'm going to rewind to just what you said there about people moving. That I would say the largest part of deliverability is best practice on the user and not the software.
Yeah.
There is a small part of that, it's super small. Most of it is what we're doing, and like you said, your reputation's attached to your domain, and then what happens from there is really attached to you, not so much what platform you're on. So that's a whole nother discussion. We'll leave that for today, but it's important people understand that it's actually more to do about best practice. So why things end up in spam. A big one is if you're not following the rules. So I should give you a super quick rundown on what those rules are that were implemented in 2024 was
Mhm.
that you need to prove who you are inside the inbox. You need to show ID basically. And that ID is a form of code that goes on like your domain records, your DNS records, we call it. That's like where lots of your website code is. And a lot of it is copy paste. You need to know a little bit about the rules of them. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You've probably heard terms like SBF, DKIM, and MARC. That's what I'm talking about, those acronyms.
Mhm.
And there's three of them, and one of them, SBF, is kind of like a wax seal on an old piece of mail way back. Think of like Outlander days, right? Like you send a piece of important mail to the king or whatever, and it's got your wax seal, so you know it has not been tampered with on the way. Or sorry, that would be more like DKIM, which are secret keys. Putting a wax seal on your email, making sure spammers aren't tampering with it. The other one, SBF, is more like an approved senders list. Like you're telling the post office who's allowed to send email on your behalf. Like what apps are allowed to send email from CherylRarick.com. I have to list them all. And that's included. And then the last one is just your contingency plan. If one of those two fails or both of those fails, what should they do with your mail? Should they block it completely? Should they just report it to you? Like what happens next? So that's really in a nutshell what it is. It's not, we make it sound so much more complicated than it is, right? But we're showing ID, we're protecting our own brand from spam and protecting our people from spammers. So, number one, spam folder, if you don't have those done, you're getting in the spam folder, or your email will just be rejected completely and bounced, and you won't even get as far as the spam folder. So that's the first thing that is required, and it's new in the last couple of years, and people need to pay attention to that. The next thing is engagement. So one of the biggest factors of deliverability is engagement with your individual subscribers. Are they opening my emails? Are they replying, clicking, doing things with them? I don't know. They have super smart algorithms. Maybe how much time they're reading them, maybe how far they're scrolling. I don't know. Google changes what they're doing constantly, but they know. However, they're all knowing and all seeing, especially Google, right? They know everything. And so that engagement with the specific subscriber really, really matters. And so if they're not engaging with you over time, we call that like a cold subscriber. It's more likely to go to spam. And the more of those percentage wise that you're emailing, the more likely all your emails will go to spam. So that brings me to the point of clean your list. That's another thing I would like all coaches to know. You need to clean your list very regularly and only email people who are engaging, because really it's like nonverbal communication, right? It's like you're at a party and you're having a conversation with someone and they're talking back, they're talking back to you. There's someone who's replying. If you're talking to someone and they're nodding their head like you are right now, they're opening. They might be reading. But if you're talking to someone who's facing the other way in the corner, and you're talking at them, you're one of those annoying people at a party. That's what we're doing when we're emailing people who just stop engaging with us. Like it's time to just stop emailing them. It's okay. They can come back if they want to, so we can clean our list. So that is another way that will get you into spam, is too much cold subscriber, like emailing cold subscribers too much. And then of course, just being spammy in the words that you're using, or using links that aren't secure in your emails and various things like that. But engagement's probably one of the biggest ones. Yeah.
It's funny because I think I remember this a couple years ago, because one of the things I was like, all right, in the emails, how can we drive the action for engagement? So how are we driving the action to click? Are we asking them to reply? A couple of those things that you were saying in there. Um, and then let me ask you this, because you mentioned about the behaviors. So a couple of my clients, in some of the stuff that I've been reading up on, it's like they don't put a lot of images or gifs. Like if you're gonna do like it's just one and not like blah blah. Blah. Even like some people like to do pretty newsletter looking type of emails, and those also have a lot of graphic elements in there. So is that one of the things that you're seeing that is a behavior that we should or shouldn't? Is that true, the things that I heard? Or
It is true. It is true. Yeah, sorry to say. Is it always true? No. Everything is relative when it comes
Mhm.
to emails, more art than science, really. And it's going to depend a lot on the engagement of your list, the size of your list, how frequently you email. All of these are factors that go into these algorithms in deciding these things. Like it isn't just one thing. However, the more images you use in an email, the more links you put in an email, the more you're adopting the same patterns that a lot of spammers use. It's patterns, right? And so those algorithms notice those patterns. So I always teach and recommend to keep images and links to a minimum, as low as you can, because the more you use, just the more likely it is to catch one of those patterns. Does that mean
Right.
not to use images? No, I use an image in almost every email, or a GIF in almost every email. It's
Mhm.
more to do with ratio to text as well.
Mhm.
So if you have a longer email, I say you could use maybe 3 images, or use a few more. Um,
That's a good.
Links, the same thing. Linking to a lot of different places. Spammers love to do that. Using link shorteners like Bitly, don't do that in
Yeah.
your emails. Spammers love to hide behind those. And
Mhm.
the reputation of the places you're linking to matters. It attaches to yours. So if I'm linking to somewhere that is like a blocklisted spammy place, it's more likely my email is going to end up in your spam folder with one of those big red warnings at the top from Google saying don't click these links, right? Which is embarrassing. So it really, you want to pay attention to where you're linking and who you're linking to. I think most of us in our community do. We're pretty responsible and good like we're trying to be good senders, right? So images and links, try to keep them down. I tell everybody, take off all those social links at the bottom of your email. Like, do people click those?
Right.
Check your stats. Probably not. Just take them
Mhm.
off.
Hmm.
In an email, you can try to ask them to be taking one specific action. You're going to have more success in people taking that specific action.
I
I'm okay
love.
if you want to give them 2 or 3. I'm not I'm not saying only
Right.
one ever. If you have like a
Right.
newsletter style business, you might be hearing me say this and go, sure, I'm not going to take that advice because I have a newsletter and people click.
Right.
Awesome. If they're clicking, if they are engaging with that, then that's going to help you and then carry on. So it's not really black and white. But I would say
Mhm.
for most coaches and course creators who are not a newsletter style business, it's better to do less.
Right. And I even have some clients that, let's say, we're sending their emails from Wix or like
Mhm.
Squarespace or something like that, where they're like, oh, my open rate was good, but when I switched over to ConvertKit or High Level or something like that, um, then it's like it's not working. But that's more, I think, to do with rebuilding that new domain, that sending domain versus, am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, so
Or
if they have a new domain, so if before they were sending from like a free Wix or free Square, I don't know if Squarespace has free, but it wasn't their own domain that they own, they have to start from scratch building that reputation, which does take a bit. You have to
right.
warm
Okay.
up the
Yeah.
domain. If they did have that domain and they were just using their software to send emails from their domain and all they did was switch tech, sometimes we see a little bit of a dip because you might be using the same domain name, but you're now sending from new IP addresses.
Right.
So a little bit of warming. And when I say warming, what a good way to do it is just email your most engaged people first. So the people
Mhm.
who have opened, clicked, or replied in the last 2 weeks or the last 30 days, send them an email first. Give them time to, show those signals that, oh, you're actually a really good sender. And then you can widen the net and slowly send more and more. So that's what I mean when I say warming. You just take it a little bit more carefully when you move. The other thing, sometimes there's a difference in reporting and how they report.
Hmm.
So sometimes it's just a difference in how they use how they're showing you data. And sometimes it's not even an actual change in data.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
This is
there
so
can be
cool.
small nuances, but that is generally not the biggest problem. Definitely cleaning your list and removing cold subscriber is a bigger problem, especially when you're
Hmm.
moving to a new
Hmm.
platform.
I love that. Okay, so can we talk about like, well, let me ask you this. If someone is like, oh my gosh, it's going so good, and then it's like open rates tank, what is
Mm.
usually the culprit? Do we even know that?
No, we don't. It's like a guessing game that we get to go down, and it usually requires more one-on-one questions, like figuring out what happened.
Hmm.
It if your open rates tank, it means you're in the spam folder or you're being
Hmm.
blocked. So it's good to know. So a lot of people go, Cheryl, aren't open rates not even real these days anyway? They're not that accurate. And yeah, it's true, they're not that accurate, but it also doesn't matter. We need to track our own trends for this reason because the open rate, like they don't show open if they're in spam. So it's
Hmm.
very helpful for us to watch that open rate. If it does tank, generally, if only a couple emails tank and then it goes back up a bit, you're probably okay. Maybe there was, a broken link in there or a link that was flagged as a bad, with one of those big red Google warning signs on it, or, something to that effect. It could be as simple as that. It could be you had too many spam complaints recently. There is a hard limit they have now. You want to keep them below 0.1, but 1%, but above 0.3, you can actually just be blocked. So, and that takes a while to dig yourself out of. So, if people are reporting you as spam, that can cause that to happen. Um, but it's a little bit of an investigative adventure to
Hmm.
figure out exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, so when we're talking about AI, let's talk about
Yes.
like the future of it. I was learning Gemini, which is Google, right? And
Yeah.
how we can use workflows in there, which is so cool. Like how to like
Yeah.
segment some things or put some rules, if you will, in place. So that was kind of cool. And then but in those rules, you can set it to see like, hey, I don't want to see those promo emails or I don't want to see this. So with these filters, new privacy updates, and then like this smart inbox sorting, like we were talking about at the beginning, what are you seeing like how we can prevent that? Because one of the things you said is that ending up in the promo folder is not a bad thing as you think because it's not
Mm.
spam,
Yes,
right?
that's correct.
Okay.
It's still considered the inbox. So rewind here to Gmail in 2025 because things are changing in 2026. But in
Okay.
2025, a lot of us have tabs set up in our Gmail, right?
Mhm.
Like the promo tab, updates tab, social tab. That is all considered the inbox. It's just how you prefer to organize your inbox. So I'm always
Mhm.
telling my clients it's none of my business how my people want to organize their inbox. It's optional. And in 2025, only 40% of people with Gmail had it turned on. So 60% preferred a unified inbox where everything is all in one section. So here
Interesting.
we are stressing about something that's even not as big of a problem as we think it is, right?
Exactly.
And as
Mhm.
well as those who do have tabs turned on, they don't want to see your marketing newsletter email in their primary tab. They want to see their bank statement and their email from their auntie about lunch next week, right? Like they
Right.
don't
Right.
want, and then if you end up places you shouldn't be, you're more likely to get reported as spam because they're annoyed about it.
Mhm.
Right? So it's actually not a problem to end up in promotions. The other reason it's not a problem, I have stats that I brought here to read from 2025. The primary tab has a 22% read rate. So people are reading 22% from their primary tab. The promotions tab is 19.2%.
Oh,
It's
that's
not
not.
that bad, not that
No.
different.
No, no.
And
Mm.
the updates tab, get this, 28% read rate, higher than the primary. Weird to me.
Interesting.
I don't know who's reading their updates tab first, but people are. The social tab 22.4 and forums 21.1. So they're pretty even across the board.
Yeah, interesting.
So people are reading them. It probably
Mhm.
depends on industry and who your people are and where they're reading their
Mhm.
emails, right? In app or on their desktop or through an Apple Mail app or something, but it's not that bad. However, that was in 2025. We're in 2026. Things are changing again.
Yeah.
And I don't have any data for you because the change isn't fully rolled out. So I don't know if what you were just testing is brand new with Gemini.
I mean, I did it maybe a couple months ago. I think it probably was
Months
in
ago.
2025. We're already in February, so
Oh,
like,
okay. Okay. So I haven't played with that, but right now, Google is launching what they're calling AI inboxes, which is annoying because I have a product called AI inboxes,
oh my
which I
gosh,
may have to change my name now.
yes.
However, what they're doing is similar. Okay, so Apple Mail last year came out with their own version of tabs, like Gmail's tabs, and they
Hmm.
also came out with up summaries, right? Like email summaries, and they were showing where the preview text used to show. It was like
Hmm.
a one line summary. So you could see from before even opening the email what the email's about. Again, that's optional. People can turn it off. I think a lot of people did it because it was getting them wrong. So my AI inboxes thing is all about how to write emails that work for those summaries. And then in Gmail, there was optional summaries available as well, right? You can get an email summarized. I don't think that many people were using it for reading newsletters
Hmm.
necessarily. I think more long threads between coworkers. That's really helpful. But going forward, Gmail is releasing right now only to a few Google Workspace plans in the US. I'm in Canada, so I have not seen it yet. But they are allowing, like you said, with filters to implement an AI inbox where it will make task lists and to do lists for you based on your emails. And then also make suggestions of things you might want to read or follow up on.
Right.
So the goal becomes how do we get in that list, right? How do we want to get added to the list of things to read? And so this is going to be an adventure in learning this year as these changes roll out. Google loves to toy with their systems and change things constantly. So we'll have to see how it goes. My suspicion is engagement has always been the number one thing, but I think it's going to be even more important because if I'm Google and my job is to make Gmail people happy, Google Workspace people
Hmm.
happy, is to not show them so much spam and show them stuff they really like. How does Google know what they really like is things that they interact with.
Hmm.
So my prediction is those clicks, those replies being the top sign of engagement, obviously,
Hmm.
more important than ever to show Google that people really want to read these emails. Please show me in their lists.
Right.
So we're going to have to just wait and see. I don't think it's a reason to panic. People can
Hmm.
turn it off, just like everything else. They might surprise us. Maybe everyone turns it off.
Right.
I don't know how comfortable everyone is with AI reading all their stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know what? Well, first when you said turn that you have to turn on the tabs rather than having everything in one inbox, I don't even remember making those tabs and I know for a fact I have those tabs. Right? So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like
just in your settings. You can easily change them.
no, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
thought that the tabs are the tab like that's there.
Yeah.
Like I if I made those tabs, it had to be so long ago that I don't remember doing it. So then I also sit here and think like I'm pretty techie and I don't know that. Or I don't know those things. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Most people
those are
don't.
not
Yeah.
like, are they gonna know enough? So I feel like so much of this is like we're also worried about it because obviously we want people to open up our emails.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I'm kind of like, do they have this? And are you doing anything, or is it like in your kind of strategy thought process that any other ways to reach your clients by saying, hey, I sent out this email, or hey, like, are you letting them know via text or ManyChat or in a group, or like, so what are you kind of thinking to be like, hey, make sure you get my email?
Yeah. So personally, I'm not, but I think it's great if you have those systems or your community is those places, then you
Hmm.
should be following up with them on different channels for sure. Text is really popular in a lot of
Hmm.
places. I think it really just depends who your audience is on whether or not they like that.
Hmm.
And also where you live and what the regulations are around it. It's a
Yeah.
lot harder here in Canada to get around communication regulation than, say, in the US. So it just depends on a lot of factors. I don't think we need to
Mhm.
panic and run out and do things
Yeah.
unless it's a good strategy you're already doing.
Mhm. Mm.
Um, so if you're already doing it, if maybe you have a Telegram channel, maybe you have a Facebook group, maybe you have your communities on Instagram and you're already connected there, use those channels. I think really though, we need to not panic every time, every change that I've mentioned in this chat with you, everyone's freaked out and I've had to do a webinar. Like everybody calm down, right? It's my highest selling webinars is on this stuff, just telling everyone to breathe. The
Exactly.
foundations are still true. Like we said in the very beginning of our chat was making people feel seen, building relationship, being a human in their life who cares about them. No, even if you're selling lassos, right? Showing
Exactly.
up as a human in their inbox, sending good email. If you send good email, people want to read it. People
I
will
love
read
it.
it. The inbox wants to show people stuff they want. So you
Right.
just have to focus on
Make
that
it fun. Yeah.
and maybe don't worry so much about these details. The world's changing. We're rolling with it. We'll do our best when we can. And just really, if you focus on the humanity and the connection part, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I love this. Okay, so before we wrap up, I know my listeners love some tangible, actionable steps. So, is there like 1 to 3 things that they should be doing like this week to improve their deliverability?
Great question. Yes, clean your list immediately and clean it every month. I recommend stop emailing people. To be generous, we'll say if they haven't opened an email in 90 days, they're not going to statistically.
Hmm.
And people argue with me about that. I'm like, well, like anecdotally, people might here and there, but statistically, they don't. They used to, but they don't now in 2026 because the inbox stops showing it to them over time, the less
Hmm.
engaged they are. And it's preventing you from getting in the inbox of the people who do want your emails. So I like to re engage at 60 days and I remove at 90 days, but at least 90 days is a good time to, to stop emailing people. And so clean your list. And let's say what else can be a really easy, tangible thing. Go take off those social links at the bottom of your email or all the extra links that you have just to show people that you know your stuff, but people don't actually click anyway. They can go. They don't need to be there.
So,
You can
so good.
add them when you have a call to action. Follow me on Instagram, use your Instagram link. Follow me on LinkedIn, use your LinkedIn, but not just hanging out there for just because. They don't need to be there.
So good. So good. I made some notes, so I hope those of you listening made some notes as well, because get those 3 things done for sure. This was so much fun. And I know like the email is like nerve-wracking, but I love how you made it like so simple. Just follow the best practices, make sure especially you have those DNS records in place. Um and it's not as scary as we think it is, right? We want to hang on so much, but sometimes it's good to let it go, right? Like I
Focus
once
on the
learned it.
relationship. That's the important part.
Exactly. It's like you're
Yeah.
going on a trip. It's like let them get out of the car, right? Let them get out of the car. It's okay. You can end to your destination without them. Oh my gosh. I appreciate you
Yeah.
so much, Cheryl, for coming on the show today. Where can people find you?
My pleasure. My website, cherylrarick.com. I would love for you to join my email list because that's where I hang out the most.
That's
And
right.
okay, so I was thinking about something I could give your listeners too.
Oh, love it.
And I had a couple of things, but I think maybe my AI inboxes training would be what they would want to
Yeah.
see the most because it's a continuation of what we were talking about. So I recorded it in the summer of 2025 when Apple came out with their tab. So it's a lot to do with how AI is evaluating and how it evaluates in emails to make those summaries. And Google's just coming out. We don't know exactly how they're going to behave. Chances are it's going to be quite similar. And so that'll give them a jump start onto what that all means in the inbox.
That would be amazing. All right. You'll send me the link. I'll drop it in the show notes. Okay.
Great.
So, so good. Thank you so much, Cheryl. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, there you have it. Email deliverability in 2026. Definitely go check out Cheryl. Again, I will drop everything in the show notes. Until next time, keep leaning into those small shifts and stacking those 1% wins. Let's grow your business together.